He succeeds me as Duke of Cornwall and takes on the responsibilities. Today, I am proud to create him Prince of Wales.
The world is in shock. Buckingham Palace just dropped a heart-wrenching announcement that has shaken millions to their core. Known for keeping their emotions behind closed doors, the royal family has now revealed devastating news that changes everything. This tragedy, described as one of the most shocking in recent royal history, has sparked waves of grief from fans across the globe. What could have possibly hit the monarchy so hard? Today, we uncover the full story behind this emotional royal bombshell. A morning that shattered tradition. London woke up like any other day, red buses gliding along the Thames, tourists snapping photos, and the usual hum of commuters. Outside Buckingham Palace, the guards stood frozen as always, the sun glinting off the palace walls, a symbol of timeless poise. But inside, the calm was gone. Whispers that had quietly drifted through palace halls for months were now swelling into heavy tension. By mid-morning, something unprecedented was unfolding. The air outside buzzed with anticipation as reporters adjusted cameras, their low murmurs cutting through the crisp London air. Then, the royal press secretary appeared. His pale face betrayed every ounce of the tension he tried to hide. When he spoke, his voice was calm, but trembled beneath the surface. Every word confirmed the fears everyone had been trying to ignore. King Charles's health had declined far more seriously than the palace had ever admitted. The carefully maintained image of unshakable authority cracked instantly. Vulnerability on display. Rarely does the monarchy show these moments. Cameras captured Prince William, tense and burdened, and Catherine, poised as ever, though subtle stress betrayed her calm. Both radiated grace, yet carried the invisible weight of a storm they could not control. King Charles appeared frail, almost ghost-like, a shadow of the commanding figure he once was. Years of duty and private struggles etched into every line of his face. For the first time, the public saw the human fragility behind the crown. Yet the most striking detail, who wasn't there? Queen Camilla's empty seat echoed louder than words, sending the room and the world into instant speculation. Was she unwell, choosing distance, or sidelined by palace tensions? Her absence became a silent, deafening statement, fueling the drama. Amid the uncertainty, Prince William and Catherine seized the moment, announcing the Diana Initiative, trying to shift the spotlight toward hope amidst heartbreak. The Diana Initiative wasn't just another royal program, it was a statement. Ostensibly aimed at reform and modernization, it carried a deeper meaning, honoring Princess Diana, whose passing on August 31st, 1997, left an unforgettable mark on the nation. The initiative sought to revive the compassion and humanity she embodied. Prince William spoke with quiet resolve, sharing months of preparation and the full support of his father, linking Diana's spirit to a monarchy in desperate need of renewal. The public reaction was instant and electric. Social media exploded with old clips of Diana's warmth, heartfelt interviews, hospital visits, and moments of pure kindness. Her legacy flooded timelines, reminding everyone of the compassion she championed. The initiative struck a chord, signaling a fresh start and subtly shifting the monarchy's priorities toward humanity and connection. But not everyone cheered. Sources hinted at Queen Camilla's discomfort, suggesting the initiative risked overshadowing her own efforts since ascending the throne in May 2023. Questions of influence, legacy, and the monarchy's future now loomed behind Buckingham's gilded walls. Power dynamics were shifting, subtle yet unmistakable. With Charles weakened, William and Catherine emerged as the decisive forces, shaping a narrative balancing tradition and transformation. Every gesture, glance, and absence now carried weight. The once unshakable monarchy revealed cracks, leaving the world on edge about what comes next. Was this change planned, or did history just come rushing back? Secrets behind the crown threatened to surface, shaping the monarchy's path. Silence inside Buckingham Palace weighed heavier than any announcement. Queen Camilla's absence echoed through the halls, sparking whispers and speculation that spread like wildfire. Some said she was quietly safeguarding her health, while others claimed she was avoiding the storm engulfing the royal household. More daring voices suggested hidden conflicts were surfacing, shaking the delicate balance of power. Her absence cast a long shadow, revealing vulnerabilities rarely seen by the public. Questions about King Charles III lingered everywhere. How long had he been secretly battling illness? Was his condition worse than anyone realized? Once a symbol of unshakable strength, the king now appeared fragile, his decline visible to anyone watching closely. Reports confirmed that a routine procedure in early 2024 for an enlarged prostate had uncovered something far more serious: cancer. Since then, his health had steadily worsened, raising urgent concerns about his ability to bear the crown. Friends and aides described a man of quiet courage, confronting illness with dignity. Yet even simple movements now required a walking stick, a stark reminder of the human fragility behind the crown. A stark contrast to the once commanding king. Recent images from Sandringham, his sprawling 20,000-acre Norfolk estate, captured Charles moving through the gardens with painstaking care, leaning on a wooden cane. At first glance, the photos suggested composure, but a closer look revealed the strain in his posture, the slow, measured pace, and the steely determination etched across his face. Each frame told a story, a monarch battling not just illness, but the relentless march of time. His presence reminded the world that even the symbols of power carry human fragility. Inside the palace, Camilla's absence and Charles's faltering health shifted everything. Every glance, subtle gesture, and calculated pause now felt loaded with unspoken meaning. The long-held hierarchy of influence wavered as uncertainty spread. What was once a meticulously controlled environment now felt unsettled. Questions about leadership succession and the monarchy's future hung in the air like storm clouds. Outside the gates, the public sensed it too. Tradition no longer seemed ironclad. Every silence, every empty chair, every faint expression hinted at tensions the palace could no longer hide. The invincible image of the crown cracked, revealing human struggles beneath the pomp and ceremony. The monarchy faced a pivotal moment where history, legacy, and personal frailty collided. Each small sign, a missing figure, a strained smile, a deliberate pause, carried weight far beyond Buckingham's walls. The world watched, aware that behind the grandeur, the institution faced a test unlike any in living memory: the hidden strain of the king. Charles moved through Sandringham's serene gardens, the backdrop of calm contrasting the turmoil within. Observers insist the public only sees a fraction of the truth. Behind his carefully placed smile lies a man grappling with pain he cannot fully hide. The walking stick is more than support. It's a quiet symbol of growing frailty, a shadow of mortality marking every step. Once vigorous and commanding, he now navigates the world with measured care, each movement constrained by the limits of his body. Inside is revealed the king has turned to whiskey to ease persistent pain and emotional strain. Beneath the composure, he carries the weight of a long-standing rift with Prince Harry. Each passing day deepens unspoken regrets, exposing the human fragility behind the royal image. Despite these personal struggles, King Charles remains determined to meet the relentless demands of the monarchy. His public appearances, fewer, carefully planned and meticulously orchestrated, are crafted to project stability and reassurance across the United Kingdom and the Commonwealth. Every smile, wave, and gesture is weighed, designed to maintain an image of authority even as private realities threaten to intrude. Observers have noted the sharp contrast between his composed public demeanour and the private vulnerabilities described by palace insiders. Though his body shows unmistakable signs of decline, Charles taps into a deep reserve of determination to perform his role. Every step, every glance, every carefully arranged smile carries the dual burden of tradition and human limitation, showcasing the delicate tension between duty and mortality. The king's resilience is remarkable, yet the strain is visible to those who know where to look. The cruel irony of timing intensifies the challenge. Decades of preparation for the throne have now collided with a serious illness, disrupting what should have been a steady, dignified reign. Reports confirm that a routine procedure in early 2024 revealed a far more severe condition: cancer. Since that revelation, his health has steadily deteriorated, prompting urgent concerns about his ability to bear the full weight of his responsibilities. Recent images from Sandringham show him navigating the gardens with a wooden cane, each movement deliberate and measured. His posture projects strength, yet the toll of time and illness is impossible to hide. The once commanding figure now walks carefully, each step a reminder of the fragility beneath the crown. The tension inside Buckingham Palace grows even more intense due to complex family dynamics. Charles's frailty, combined with private grief and the careful orchestration of public appearances, paints a portrait of a monarchy walking a tightrope between vulnerability and legacy. Power, influence, and familial relationships are subtly shifting, with every glance and gesture revealing how delicate the balance has become. The crown, long seen as a symbol of invincibility, now faces the reality of human limitation, leaving the world to watch and wonder what the future holds. Cracks, once hidden behind centuries of tradition and ceremony, are now exposed. Every expression, gesture, and pause echoes the immense challenge of maintaining authority while grappling with private limitations. Charles's public image of stoicism now sharply contrasts with the hidden struggles he endures, creating a portrait of a king whose strength is tested like never before. This chapter of his reign is defined by the tension between duty, legacy, and the relentless realities of life. After decades of preparing to lead, Charles now faces profound illness early in his kingship. Every decision, every interaction, and every public engagement is intensified by the weight of mortality. For now, the monarchy teeters in a delicate balance between tradition and vulnerability, public expectation and private endurance, devotion to duty, and the inevitable constraints of being human. And if the crown carries both obligation and personal struggle, how will the next generation shape its future? Keep watching as the monarchy quietly reinvents itself. Prince William stood steadfast beside Princess Catherine, her poised presence offering calm amid growing turbulence. Together, they unveiled the Diana Initiative, a project that on the surface seemed like a standard modernization effort, aiming to align royal charitable work with contemporary British life. But the choice of name carried deep meaning, invoking the memory of Princess Diana, who tragically passed in Paris on August 31st, 1997. William was bringing back a figure whose legacy had long lingered in public hearts and whispered palace corridors. The name stirred memories, emotions, and subtly reshaped the monarchy's narrative. This was far more than charity. It was legacy woven into every mission, gesture, and speech. Inside Buckingham Palace, behind polished doors, routines carried on, yet the focus of power quietly shifted. Meetings, once dominated by King Charles, increasingly highlighted William's vision. Journalists turned their attention from Clarence House to Kensington Palace. Observers could feel the subtle realignment. William, once understated and cautious, now moved with deliberate energy and focus. Catherine complemented him seamlessly, her warmth a sharp contrast to Queen Camilla's more calculated image. Her hospital visits, school appearances, and community engagements resonated with authenticity, earning public trust and admiration while subtly reinforcing William's growing influence. Meanwhile, Camilla, who had spent years cultivating her public persona, found her presence waning. Her name appeared less often in media coverage. Her charitable work received scant attention, and whispers of growing isolation surfaced from sources close to the royal household. While the palace never formally announced a transition of power, the shift was undeniable. Quietly but unmistakably, the dynamics were changing. King Charles, though still the monarch, was increasingly becoming peripheral as his son and daughter-in-law stepped into the spotlight. The Diana Initiative was more than just a project. It was a carefully timed bridge between past and present, honoring a beloved figure while shaping a new era of the monarchy. Every event and public engagement now carried the echo of Diana's compassion and courage, connecting her enduring influence directly to William and Catherine's leadership. In effect, the monarchy was being subtly rewritten. Staff and advisors began reshaping schedules and strategies to align with this emerging power structure. The changes were quiet, almost invisible to casual observers, but unmistakable to anyone paying close attention. Even King Charles, seasoned by decades of tradition, recognized the transformation with a mix of disbelief and resignation. Discussions with William at Clarence House were tense yet measured, revealing a generational clash. caution rooted in legacy versus urgency, driven by modern relevance. Influence was moving steadily to the next generation, signaling not upheaval, but a quiet reinvention. So was this carefully planned, or did history itself demand a return? What secrets lie behind the crown, and how will they shape the monarchy's future? Keep watching as Diana's legacy is reclaimed. Within hours of the initiative's unveiling, social media and news outlets exploded. Old footage of Princess Diana resurfaced. Her gentle laughter, her warm embrace of sick children, the sincerity in her gaze that seemed to pierce screens worldwide. Her spirit had returned, not in body, but through her son and his steadfast wife, reclaiming her place in history. The monarchy, long contained behind palace walls, now faced the ripple effects of this tribute. What appeared as heartfelt charity carried a subtle, undeniable challenge. For King Charles, the initiative reopened old wounds. Decades of trying to bury painful memories, of a marriage broken under public scrutiny, of scandals shadowing his reign, and of a woman whose influence still defined his era, even in absence, were stirred once more. This was never just about charity. Every gesture, every mission, every speech under the Diana Initiative reminded the world, and the palace, that legacy, power, and memory were deeply intertwined. It was a reopening of old chapters, a stark reminder of the personal and political pressures King Charles had navigated for decades. For Queen Camilla, the shift was even sharper. Years of carefully cultivating her public image and slowly earning recognition now felt fragile. Diana's name, invoked deliberately and prominently, cast a long, unavoidable shadow over her accomplishments. Observers began to notice her absence from key events, once attributed to health or coincidence, now read as a strategic retreat. Camilla appeared hesitant to fully endorse a project that might eclipse her own role and subtly reshape the monarchy's narrative. Meanwhile, Prince William and Princess Catherine moved with quiet determination, unbound by hesitation. Every action suggested a confident, deliberate staking of claim, not just to the monarchy's charitable efforts, but to the very essence of its contemporary identity. Every speech, every engagement under the Diana Initiative echoed with purpose, linking the empathy, courage, and connection that had defined Diana's life to the present day. What began as a charitable program had transformed into a vehicle for legacy, a tangible revival of the people's princess embedded within royal duties. The shift was subtle, yet profound. Where once the focus rested on King Charles and Queen Camilla, momentum now flowed toward William and Catherine. The palace itself seemed to tremble under a quiet generational recalibration. Alliances adjusted, advisors realigned, and public perception followed the new direction. Diana's memory was no longer confined to history books or archival footage. It returned to the heart of royal life, stirring emotions, challenging traditions, and quietly reshaping authority within palace walls. To the outside world, the royal family projected flawless composure. Ribbon cuttings, gala events, and meticulously posed photographs reinforced unity and tradition. Yet beneath the polished surface, a subtle transformation was underway. Observers following every public appearance began to sense it, a quiet current of change threading through the palace halls. Reporters tracking royal schedules noticed the shift immediately. Kensington Palace, home to Prince William and Princess Catherine, was commanding more headlines than ever before. Clarence House, long the centre of King Charles and Queen Camilla's public presence, suddenly felt overshadowed. Press briefings, feature articles, and social commentary increasingly highlighted William and Catherine's rising influence, signalling a generational pivot that could redefine the monarchy's future. Advisors who once focused solely on King Charles were now subtly shifting their priorities, placing Prince William in the spotlight and allowing his voice to carry weight both inside the palace and across the nation. Historically measured and cautious, William now displayed a quiet but undeniable transformation. Hesitation had given way to conviction, and every word he spoke resonated with authority. His public appearances were no longer simple duties. They reflected intent, strategy, and a growing understanding of the responsibilities awaiting him. Every gesture, from hospital visits to speeches addressing national concerns, conveyed purpose and presence. Those paying close attention could see it clearly. William was no longer waiting in the shadows. He was stepping into the role he had long prepared for, carrying a presence that transcended his title. Princess Catherine amplified this shift. Her interactions were heartfelt, genuine, and consistently visible, creating a bridge between the monarchy and the public that no formal protocol could manufacture. Her warmth and authenticity became a defining complement to William's rising authority. Meanwhile, Queen Camilla maintained her routines, but her influence appeared to wane. Her public profile subtly diminished as William and Catherine's prominence within the palace grew. The balance of power was evolving almost imperceptibly. Meetings, schedules, and strategies were increasingly guided by William's vision, signaling a quiet but undeniable realignment at the core of the monarchy. The heir no longer simply waited for the crown. William carried its weight in his posture, tone, and presence, signaling that a new era of influence and authority was quietly taking shape. But behind the public composure, what hidden tensions simmered between father and son, and how might it reshape the royal family? Keep watching to uncover the silent rivalry unfolding at every public moment. Catherine, the Princess of Wales, was far more than William's partner. She had become the anchor of his expanding influence. Where Camilla's appearances often felt measured and rehearsed, Catherine radiated ease and authenticity. Hospital visits, school engagements, and community events highlighted her warmth, creating a connection with the public that no royal protocol could manufacture. Her presence and genuine compassion reinforced William's authority, painting a vision of a modern monarchy that was compassionate, capable, and unmistakably present. The first flicker of tension appeared during a high-profile charity luncheon. When asked about the Diana Initiative, the project honouring William's late mother, Queen Camilla offered a polite but carefully measured remark. "The monarchy has always served with dedication. We don't need to invoke the past to prove it." Her words, controlled and precise, carried an unmistakable subtext. Observers and journalists immediately read it as a quiet challenge, not only to Diana's enduring legacy, but to Catherine, who had embraced the initiative as part of her own mission. Within hours, social media and headlines erupted, framing the moment as a clash between tradition and modernity, continuity and renewal. Catherine, however, remained composed. She didn't respond immediately, letting the moment pass with quiet poise. Days later, at a modest event for the Diana Initiative, she addressed the audience with calm authority. "This work isn't about the past. It's about the future we build together." The simplicity of her words carried undeniable weight, subtly asserting a forward-looking vision while honouring Diana's memory. Public sentiment quickly aligned in her favour, interpreting her statement as a clear signal that the monarchy's next chapter would embrace compassion, connection, and renewal within the palace walls. Whispers grew louder. Staff and advisors, who had once navigated carefully between generations, now quietly acknowledged the shift in influence. The balance, long anchored by Charles and Camilla, was gradually tilting toward William and Catherine. It wasn't a rebellion, nor an official handover. It was a deliberate, measured rebalancing of power, executed through gestures, engagements, and the subtle shaping of public perception. On the surface, the monarchy appeared steady, but beneath, a quiet transformation was reshaping its future in real time. But what truly fueled the whispers of rivalry, and how deep did they run? Tension simmered quietly, invisible to most of the public, yet unmistakable to close observers. Princess Anne, known for her steadfast loyalty, unflinching honesty, and relentless dedication to duty, had begun to display rare, visible frustration. Calm and disciplined as ever, Anne rarely indulges in drama, but the subtle shifts unleashed by the Diana Initiative had stirred something within her. Her irritation could no longer be fully concealed. Anne's watchful presence signaled that the quiet reshaping of influence and power within the royal family was far from complete. Her sharp disapproval frequently focused on Queen Camilla, whose resilience and carefully curated public persona often clashed with Anne's directness. The roots of their tension stretched back decades. In the early 1970s, Anne shared a close bond with Andrew Parker Bowles, the cavalry officer who would later marry Camilla. Though that connection eventually cooled, it left lingering unease and subtle rivalries that continue to ripple through palace corridors today. When Camilla later became entwined with Charles, the future king, palace dynamics grew increasingly complicated. Private discomfort morphed into enduring friction, and by the 1980s, the tangled relationships between Charles, Diana, and Camilla had erupted beyond gossip, leaving invisible marks of rivalry, caution, and lingering resentment that would shape interactions for decades. Even now, the echoes of those early conflicts inform every glance and every carefully measured word between Anne and Camilla. Where Camilla's strategic maneuvers aim to maintain influence and public favour, Anne's principled directness challenges them, subtly questioning decisions, priorities, and loyalties. This is far from mere family squabbling. It reflects a deeper struggle over authority, loyalty, and the moral compass of the monarchy itself. Insiders suggest Anne's interventions are driven by a desire to uphold tradition and service to the public, even when confronting a queen who has spent years securing her place at the heart of the institution. The tension between them is as enduring as it is delicate, a living testament to the palace's hidden complexities. Every interaction, every carefully controlled meeting carries the weight of history, reminding all who observe that within the royal household, old rivalries never truly fade, they only lie in wait. But what hidden truths lie beneath the crown, and how could they shake the royal family? Behind the gleaming palace, with its tradition, ceremony, and carefully curated appearances, the monarchy faces its most subtle challenges. After 7 decades of waiting, King Charles finally wears the crown, yet his reign is weighed not by scandal, but by history itself. The towering legacy of Queen Elizabeth II and the enduring memory of Diana, the people's princess, loom over every decision. Instead of the sweeping reformer some anticipated, Charles presides over a quiet transition where influence is measured not by proclamation, but by nuance, presence, and carefully orchestrated gestures. Queen Camilla, once dismissed by the public and press, has fought diligently to secure her role beside the king, but even crowned, her position feels tenuous. Diana's memory lingers, shaping public sentiment and palace dynamics. Meanwhile, Catherine, Princess of Wales, shines with effortless charisma, earning trust, admiration, and influence in ways Camilla struggles to match. Subtle gestures, absences, and carefully timed appearances signal a quiet shift. The balance of influence is beginning to tilt. Fear of irrelevance shadows Camilla, whose authority is quietly challenged, not only by history, but by the court of public opinion. Every move she makes is now under scrutiny. Meanwhile, William and Catherine carry the heaviest burden, the future of the monarchy itself. They embody renewal, modern, compassionate, and capable of guiding the crown into a new era without shattering its ancient traditions. But this is no small task. Every speech, every engagement, every decision must convey loyalty while signaling subtle progress, innovation, and leadership. Behind the scenes, fleeting glances, whispered strategies, and measured gestures reveal what public ceremonies cannot. The quiet reshaping of power and influence moves deliberately, strategically, with methodical precision. The monarchy is not collapsing, it is evolving, layered with memory, rivalry, and intention beneath the glittering crowns and polished smiles. Change is unfolding. Subtle, yet undeniable, the institution's deepest truths emerge not from speeches or stone, but from the silence that carries more weight than words ever could. So, what do you think? Are the royals on the brink of their biggest internal shake-up yet? Drop your thoughts in the comments, hit that like button, share this video, and don't forget to subscribe for more royal revelations.